So what is up, guys? Soda the Savage back, and it was an awesome day to be a Saints fan, coming out with that 36-27 upset victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everyone in the media, all the experts, picked against the Saints. We lose Jameis Winston and have Trevor Simeon take down the GOAT and Tom Brady. Huge statement victory by the Saints. Now, I got a lot to get into. Got to get to a general recap, individual player stats, and a final grade. So without further ado, let's get this video started. Alright, so on to a general recap of the game. So the Buccaneers, they got the very first ball, and they immediately go 3-and-out. And the Saints, I'm thinking, let's do something. But if you've been keeping up with my videos, you already know what I'm going to say. We did not. We went on, it was a quick drive for us, and we get to a 4th-and-1 on our own 44. Sean Payton chooses to go for it, but goes with the most obvious run up the middle by Alvin Kamara. They shut that down. The Buccaneers drive down the field and get a 12-yard passing touchdown to Chris Godwin. So they're up 7-0. The Saints, we get our own drive down the field, and we ended off with a 16-yard passing touchdown from Jameis Winston to Tre'Quan Smith, the second connection between the duo in their career, first of the season, because the first time they connected was in the 2020 divisional round against the Bucs with the trick play. So it was good to see. The Bucs, they ended up punting, and then on this Saints drive, we get to a 2nd-and-9. Jameis Winston scrambles. He gets a first down, but Devin White brings him down by the horse collar. It was more like a jersey grab. They called a horse collar tackle, but I would see it more as unnecessary roughness, as Jameis Winston went down with a knee injury, got carted off the field, and it was confirmed that he tore his ACL, and he is going to be out for the rest of the season. So, Jameis Winston, thank you for what you've done for the Saints. I know it's been a pretty short stretch, but considering that we went 4-2 under you, considering the weapons that you were given, that's pretty damn impressive, I will say. Anyways, Trevor Simeon comes in. I thought, wait, what's going on with Ian Book? Because Taysom Hill's out. We don't have Ian Book, so Trevor Simeon, pretty lackluster first drive. The Bucs, they end up getting the ball after Saints punt, and Cam Jordan forces the fumble on Tom Brady. David Onyemata jumps on it, so a healthy D-line is back. So that is definitely going to be a huge factor for the Saints, since for the first little while of the season, we did not have a fully functional D-line. Trevor Simeon, in his first full drive as a Saint, he did okay, led us down the field, and then Brian Johnson kicks the 23-yard field goal. I'm thinking 4th-and-5, kick the field goal, just take the points, because the Bucs will... Because the Bucs, their offense is really high scoring, but we just need to get as many points as we can. Then the Bucs, on their very next drive, Tom Brady gets intercepted by Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and then the Saints go drive down the field, get to a 3rd-and-1 at the Tampa Bay 1, and then we get a passing touchdown, a 1-yarder to Alex Armah. I have no idea who most of the receivers were in this game. Didn't really know many of them, but it doesn't matter. We were able to make it work, and then the Buccaneers just run out the clock as it's 16-7. Going into the second half. So going into the second half, Saints get the ball to start the half, and we immediately drive down the field. We get to a 4th-and-goal at the Tampa Bay 1. And at this point, I'm thinking, do we kick the field goal or do we go for it? I'm thinking if it's from 1 yard, we go for it. HB toss to Alvin Kamara. At first, he juggled it, but he was able to get in for the touchdown. So it's 23-7 for the Saints. And it was at this point that I let my guard down. I got so cocky. I was so overconfident, like, yeah, game sealed. We have a huge lead over the Bucs. Well, they quickly drive down the field, and what ended up happening on the drive was Brady throws a pass to Fournette. He's running into the end zone, and we force the fumble and recover it. But it was determined that he didn't have the ball long enough to be considered a runner. All the rules about being what counts as like a catch or not. Anyways, the fumble got ruled back, and then Giovanni Bernard had a 7-yard reception from Tom Brady for the touchdown. The Saints, we ended up going 3-and-out on Bucs. Quick progress, 3rd-and-3 at the New Orleans 41, and Brady just skies one out for Mike Evans for the touchdown. He got the best of Marshawn Lattimore in this one, and there was Lattimore. From the Saints, we go 3-and-out. Then the Bucs, this is where I got concerned, because I'm thinking, okay, if we're stalling on having their Chiefs moment where their offense has been super stale, but once they wake up, they're a deadly force. But this time the Bucs, they made some process, but they ended up punting. Then the Saints, we drive down the field and settle for a 35-yard field goal from Brian Johnson, so I'm happy with that. But then the Bucs, a 1st and 10 on the 50, Tom Brady finds Cyril Grayson for the 50-yard touchdown. Now, in this one, the defensive backs, they honestly focused all their attention towards Mike Evans on this one, that Grayson was just able to break free, and Brady just had the easy pass. They failed the 2-point conversion, so 27-26. I'm super concerned. I'm thinking, okay, let's go down the field, kill off as much clock as possible, score a touchdown, if not, score a field goal, but take off as much clock as possible. And we did take off as much clock as possible. Long drive down the field, 4th and goal at the Tampa Bay 5. I thought it was best that we kicked the field goal because, yes, if we do miss the touchdown, there's no guarantee that we get the ball back, so I think it's best that we guarantee that we at least have a lead and then hopefully stop Brady. Now, at this point, the media is all like, okay, this is Tom Brady at his finest, the 2-minute drill. But what happens? 2nd and 10, gets intercepted by P.J. Williams. I'm thinking, sit on the ball. We can run out the clock and win the game, but he just decides to take it to the house for the touchdown. I was actually in the cafeteria with my friends eating, and I just start freaking out when P.J. Williams got the pick six. They're like, yo, dude, calm down. But I'm thinking, no, this is a huge victory of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to celebrate it. And then we just shut down the Bucs with a bunch of sacks, knee the ball out, and the Saints win 36-27. On to individual players. All right, so on to individual player sets. Starting off with Jameis Winston. In the time that he played, he was 6 for 10, threw for 56 yards and a touchdown. So as what he was doing at first was pretty solid. He also followed up with 40 rushing yards. So yeah, he was dangerous both in the air and on the ground. But then, of course, he gets injured. In comes Trevor Simeon. And in his debut, he was okay. He was 16 for 29, 159 passing yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Now, of course, we tried to focus a little bit more on a ground game, which makes sense considering that Trevor Simeon was our quarterback. But I was really impressed with how the rush game did today because this is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they are known for shutting down the run. Alvin Kamara, 19 carries for 61 yards and a touchdown. Winston, like I said before, had 40 yards. Mark Ingram, in his return, only had 6 carries for 27 yards, but that's pretty solid. Deontay Harris, 1 carry for 22 yards. And then Trevor Simeon, 2 carries for 2 yards. One of them was actually a 3-yard rush, but he only has 2 yards because he did a QB kneel just to end the game. So honestly, I'm super impressed with the rushing game considering that this was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know I said it before, but you know, when you do that, it's pretty hard to deny how well it went. Then the receiving game was really interesting. Our lead receiver was Kevin White, 1 reception, 38 yards. You might have forgotten who Kevin White was. He was the 7th overall pick in the 2015 draft, drafted by the Chicago Bears, and he was just a complete bust. But today he showed with 1 reception for 38 yards. Followed up, Deontay Harris, 3 receptions, 35 yards. Traquan Smith, 3 receptions, 33 yards. We had a lot of receivers this game. Garrett Griffin, 3 receptions, 30 yards. Marquez Callaway, 3 receptions, 30 yards. Mark Ingram, 2 receptions, 25 yards. Kamara, only 3 receptions for 15 yards, so definitely want to see him a little bit more in the passing game. Tom Montgomery, 1 reception, 4 yards. Adam Trautman, 2 receptions, 4 yards. And then Alex Armah, 1 reception, 1 yard in the touchdown. So this kind of reminded me a lot of a Drew Brees game where Drew Brees doesn't really focus on one target. He spreads the ball around, spreads it to multiple targets. Fantasy owners of like Saints receivers would hate him for that, but that's just always something I've loved about Drew Brees. He makes it work with everyone, and that's what Trevor Simeon really did this game. So the receiving game, I don't even know who our wide receiver one is at this point. I mean, once we get Michael Thomas back, he'll be the number 1, but I'll say it's still Traquan Smith, even though consistency doesn't really back that up. So yeah, the defense, was strong at first. The first half completely shut down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the second half is when we kind of let our foot off the gas. And when you go up against an offense like the Buccaneers, even though they started out flat, it only takes them a matter of time till they wake up. Sounds like the 2019 Chiefs. The Bucs did wake up, but on the most crucial drive of the game, we shut down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the victory. So it's an awesome feeling that everyone doubted the Saints, and we did it with Trevor Simeon. Good job, boys. Then on to the Buccaneers. Tom Brady had a pretty solid game, 375 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Those 2 picks were super costly, though. One of them allowed the Saints to score a touchdown to end the first half, and then the second pick was the pick 6. Now, of course, all the memes were like, this is Brady at his best, 2-minute drill. Oh boy, did that backfire. It was just so nice to see. But despite those 2 picks, he did a good job bringing the Buccaneers back into the game, bringing them back in from what seemed like an impossible comeback. The rush game was really nothing. Because Giovanni Bernard only had 30 yards, Leonard Fournette had 26, Ronald Jones with 13, and then Tom Brady with 2 rushing yards. You know, the Saints, a lot like the Bucs, are really good against the rush. So if you're going to beat the New Orleans Saints, you do it through the air. They threw the ball 41 times, and it succeeded most of the time. Anyways, lead receiver was Chris Godwin, 8 receptions, 140 yards and a touchdown, followed by Tyler Johnson, 5 receptions, 65 yards. Cyril Grayson, 1 reception, 50 yards, and the go-ahead touchdown, which then, of course, got overshadowed by Brian Johnson's field goal in the pick 6. Mike Evans, only 2 receptions, 48 yards and a touchdown. He had 1 catch off the screen and then the bomb by Tom Brady. So he got the bet. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore kept him pretty silent for most of the game, but Evans did get a laugh with that big bomb. Leonard Fournette, 3 receptions, 17 yards. O.J. Howard, 2 receptions, 16 yards. And that's pretty much it. Gronk, he did actually return in this game, but he only had 1 target. But it was just an excellent play made by either Malcolm Jenkins or Paulson Adebo. Just shut him down. It was an awesome feeling. The defense, you got exposed by Trevor Simeon. Yes, you did hold the Saints offense down at a couple of points, mainly in the second half when you were mounting your comeback. You got those stops when you needed to get those scores, so that was definitely very impressive by the defense. But in the end, Trevor Simeon got the best of you, so that's definitely going to leave a massive mark on you. So what does this mean for the Saints? Stop me if you've heard this before. QB1 goes down with injury, and now we're relying on the backup. 2019 and 2020 Saints. Of course, 2019, Drew Brees goes down with a torn finger ligament. Teddy Bridgewater takes over and is undefeated. 2020, we had Drew Brees, 11 fractured ribs and a collapsed lung. Taysom Hill takes over and does a decent job. So, with Taysom Hill still out, does this mean Trevor Simeon could be the QB1? I could see it. Honestly, to be honest though, it doesn't matter who the QB is. As long as we stick with a rush-first attack, we're going to be winning football games. Just focus on the run game. You know, don't worry about the pass game as much. You know, as long as the rush game is strong, that's our main asset. Continue to use that because the pass game has proven to be a problem. But today was definitely one of the better times I've seen from the pass game, considering that it was against one of the best teams in the NFL. Now, yes, they don't exactly do the best job at stopping the pass as they do the run, but in the end, take the dub and run. We got the Atlanta Falcons next week. They blew it against the Carolina Panthers. Everyone expected Falcons to beat the Panthers, but the Panthers ended up coming out on top. Anyways, to give a grade for both sides, I'm going to give the Saints offense a 7.5 out of 10. I'm taking off points for the main struts that we had, the troughs that we had on offense. But considering that we did it with Trevor Simeon, had a strong rush game despite the Buccaneers being able to stop the run, that's pretty solid for a 7.5 out of 10. Defense, I'll give a 6 out of 10, mainly because, you know, we did a good job at limiting the Bucs as much as possible, but the play in the second half definitely kind of holds me back from giving higher points to the Saints defense. But in the end, the pick 6 definitely makes up for it. So I'll actually bump it up to a 6.5 out of 10. The Buccaneers, I'm going to give their offense a 7 out of 10 for today. You know, had a little bit of trouble in the first half, came back strong in the second half, but got shut down on the final drive. And the defense, I'm going to give a 6 out of 10. Actually, no, I'll give it a 5 out of 10 because you got defeated by Trevor Simeon. That's going to be a hard pill to swallow. Tom Brady's weaknesses, Eli Manning, Nick Foles, and the Saints in the regular season. Because the last 3 games in the regular season for the Saints, we've dominated over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, baby. So final grade, I'm going to give the New Orleans Saints, I'm going to give them a 7.5 out of 10 for today's game. And the Buccaneers, I'm actually going to give them a 7 out of 10. Once again, both teams played super well, but the Saints prevail. On to the outro. And that is going to wrap up my video for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you want to see all my other prediction videos and all my other Saints recaps, links to all that will be in the description below. If you want to see my Week 8 predictions video, click right over here. Like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already by clicking right over here. Comment down below what your thoughts were on the Saints game. Thoughts, could Trevor Simeon be the guy who leads this team? thoughts on the Buccaneers and how they did, thoughts on Jameis Winston's locker room dance on crutches, because seriously, Jameis Winston's the funniest man in the league. Man's a treasure. Protect him at all costs. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok at Brendan Scooter. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Who Dat Nation with the huge upset victory. 5-2 is out. And I hit my light.